Hello everyone, welcome to my final live presentation in this internship program machine learning course. My name is Maliheh Sefat and today I talk about convolutional and recurrent neural networks and I'll show you my image captioning project. If you recall from previous introduction to neural networks, in multi-layer perceptron and in traditional fully connected neural networks, we had to flatten our image data to feed into the input layer of the MLP. And flattening the image would result in losing spatial information between the pixels. Then each neuron in the input layer would be connected to all the neurons in the next layer. So each pixel would have its own set of the weights that would result in a huge model. Convolutional neural networks are different. CNN is a type of deep learning model, especially effective for processing grid-like data, such as images. In this context, it's reasonable to assume that nearby pixels are more likely to be related than distant ones. And this is the core concept of CNNs. We have convolutional layers that apply filters or kernels to input data to extract features. And features are such as edges, textures, shapes. And then we have pooling layers to reduce spatial dimensions. They help with computational efficiency and also with translation invariance. Translation invariance means that an object in any position, on any pose, any variation of light or contrast in the image is the same. And the pooling layers help to detect the image no matter the position and pose. And of course, we have activation functions and some fully connected layers we might have. CNNs work well with images because they preserve spatial relationships between pixels and they share weights across a space. The same filter, here you see the green square is filter. The same filter is applied across different spatial locations of the input. So the number of parameters are less than the fully connected MLP networks. And CNNs learn hierarchical features. The first layers usually learn low-level edges of the picture. And as we get close to the last layers of convolutions, those layers can learn high-level objects in the pictures. And they CNNs take advantage of sparse connectivity because each neuron in a feature map is connected. This is feature map is connected only to a small region of the input. For example, this pixel here is result of these 9 pixels multiplied by the filter. It's it's the weighted summation of these 9 pixels and the kernel. The green square is the kernel, and this is predefined kernel. These numbers multiplied by 1, multiplied by 0, those are the weights that we want to train the model to learn from the images and from the classes, the labels of the images. You see that the kernel slides over the image, and this step is called a stride. Here, a stride is one pixel at a time. It goes to the left and to down. And here we don't have padding. We don't have extra pixels here, around the border of the image. But in this picture, we have padding. This is padding valid. It results in a feature map with less dimensions. This one, the third one, is padding same because it results in the same dimension as the input. And this one is padding full because the border pixels get the full attention or full importance as the inner pixels. That's how I remember those names. So after that, we have pooling layers. Pooling layers basically summarize the features, the convolved features. The max pooling summarizes with outputting the maximum value in a region, and average pooling summarizes with uh, outputting the average value of a region. Here we have pooling kernels of size 2 by 2 and a stride is 2 by 2. 2 to the right, 2 to the down. Okay, these are just for fun 3D convolutions with multi-channel 3D kernels. For example, if we had RGB features with 3 channels, red, blue, green, then we needed 3 multi-channel or 3-channel 3 kernels. Here, this is another 3D convolution with 2 layers of convolutions, kernels. So some data is not separated like the data that we had before. For example, in the iris dataset, the flowers are not related together. In the property, the price of property, price of the house price, the house price, the houses are not related to each other. They don't have inherent order, but some data has inherent order. For example, in natural language processing, the words are inherently ordered. Each word comes after the next and the previous word, and then the next word, and then the next word. And time series. For example, market prediction. When we want to predict the price of of something today, we need to know the previous progress from yesterday and the previous day and the previous day. So those data are sequential data. RNNs are designed to handle sequential data because they can maintain a hidden state that gets updated at each time step, allowing information to persist across steps. But they struggle with long-term dependencies due to the vanishing and exploding gradients during the training. So there are several solutions proposed for that problem. One of them is LSTM, long short-term memory. This one is a specialized type of RNN that better captures long-term dependencies. For example, if a word at the end of the sentence depends on a word at several paragraphs before. This is long dependency between in the sequence. LSTM introduces memory cells and gates. We have input gate, forget gate, output gate to control the flow of information and to control and that can mitigate the vanishing exploding gradient problem. Here you see unfolding of the simplest recurrent neural network. Uh, we have one input, one hidden layer with one unit and the output. But this hidden layer has a recurrent element. It gets updated through time and it remembers the previous updates. And this is called unfolding through time. We have ht minus 2, ht minus 1, ht plus 1, ht plus 2 through time. This is the same unfolding of the same um, recurrent neural network. And you see the formula for backpropagation through time. Not only through the layers we have to update the weights, but also through time. And this multiplication between the derivatives of hidden states and the derivatives of weights could be problematic due to the long dependencies and vanishing or exploding gradients. If the gradients are less than 0, they would vanish after several multiplications. And if they are, if the gradients are less than 1, that would result in vanishing gradients. And if they are more than 1, that would result in exploding gradients. So this is a solution for that. This is one solution. There are other solutions. This is a cell of LSTM. The cell of LSTM has two line of memories. One is the long-term memory, which is the cell state. This one goes from one layer to another layer. And the pink one here is the short-term memory. This is the hidden state. This one goes through time, from the previous timestamp to the next timestamp, time step. And you see on the long term memory, from one layer to another layer, we don't have a direct multiplication between the weights and the cell state. You only have element-wise multiplication of the output of the sigmoid functions here. And this sigmoid function here decides how much of the short-term memory should be preserved and added to the long-term memory. And therefore, it's called forget gate. And this one is input gate, and this one is output gate. This goes to the next layers, and this one goes to the hidden state and back inside the cell. So it's time for project. The main project of step 12, the last step, was an image captioning, or is an image captioning project. For that, I draw this naive and funny diagram. This is a schematic diagram of what I did in this project. We use a pre-trained CNN for extracting the features of images. We have 31 plus images of Flickr dataset, and we use a pre-trained CNN. We could use VGG. I actually did several versions of this project, one with VGG, another with EfficientNet. EfficientNet is a recent model, and it has several convolution layers. You see, convolution layers to extract the features. These models were trained on huge data sets and can detect up to 1,000 image features or objects in the images. And then for each image in the Flickr dataset, we have 5 captions written by humans. On those captions, we do pre-processing, and in the pre-processing stage, we add some artificial tokens, artificial words that are not common in human speech. I use start-sec and sec. Those are not common in human speech. So when the model sees them, it can understand or it can learn that start sec starts the caption, end sec ends the caption. And then we pass them through a tokenizer to get the tokens, and we pass through an embedding. We get the vector and pass it through an LSTM decoder to learn the dependencies between the words. After that, we have a concatenation layer to concatenate the image features and text features, and several other dense layers. At the end of the model, we have a softmax with 17,000 outputs for the 17,000 vocabulary words in the vocabulary of these uh, captions. This is the training phase. In the training phase, we have the captions. We learn the captions in relation, or the model, the multi-model learns the captions in relation to the image features. In the inference phase, we don't have the captions. We start with image feature and the start sec, which triggers the generation of captions. The model sees the start sec token and knows that it should produce a word in relation to the image. For example, it produces the word men. This is a part. This is a target for the start sec. So the input is input features of images and input token of the text, and the target is another word. Here, men, for example. And at the next step, this word or this token is added to the previous partial sequence. Again, with the image features, we pass it through the network to generate the next words. And next word is the target here. Men in green, men in green and blue, men in green and blue play, until the model produces an end sec or hits a none or empty target, so it outputs the caption generated. This is what I did. After downloading the images and going through text preprocess to do some preprocessing and cleaning, and then add the start sec and sec. These are the delimiters for the captions. The model sees these and decides that this is a caption between them. So I made the mapping dictionary, and here a tokenizer. After that, we define a function, we instantiate the CNN model. Here I instantiated VGG. This VGG is a deep convolution pre-trained on the ImageNet datasets, which is 14 billion images with captions, with class labels, sorry, 1000 class labels. Here I instantiate an EfficientNet with the same ImageNet weights, and this one, EfficientNet, has been released in 2021. It's pretty recent, and at the best performance, it can reach 87 accuracy on predicting or classifying that 1000 labels of the images. So after that, we make a, okay, we pickle them, we extract the features, pickle the features. Those take a long time, and we only have 2 hours of free GPU from Google Colab. So these are some samples from the image features, the mean and standard deviation of the samples. And this is the multi-model here with VGG features. Here we have two sets of inputs, one from the feature layer, image layers. Here I did layer normalization, and we have another set of inputs. This 74 that you see is the maximum length of any caption, and we do padding on it. I'll show you what. And then embedding layer, LSTM layer, concatenation of the features, and some dense layers. Here, this is the EfficientNet model still. It's a very deep convolutional neural network if you want to see. Okay, this is the structure of EfficientNet. And this one is the architecture of my multimodal with EfficientNet features. We have the same embedding and LSTM for the text features, and the input of the image features, concatenate them and go through some dense layers to get one of the 17,000 classes, which are the next words in the vocabulary. Our vocabulary in this project is more than 17,000 words. Here, 17,000 words. So if I pass, okay, then we have the data generator. Data generator generates a sample for each step. The sample is defined as image features of one image, a partial caption, and a target word. So it yields a tuple like this: image features, a partial caption, and the next word. Here we have the same data generator. It's pretty much the same, and it generates a batch of data at each step. And this is the shape of those for the EfficientNet. And I had to go through a phase of debugging because I had misplaced this counter in the inner loop. So this is a sample batch. We pad the sequences with zeros, which are the empty tokens, to the 74 most lengths, max lengths of each sequence. And at first, this is for start sec. This one is the token for start sec. The data generator yields a batch of partial caption and image features. And the model predicts the next word, the next word, the next word, the next word, and it just concatenates the words to the partial caption. And here, after 70 epochs of training with VGG features, we reach 63% accuracy. Here in EfficientNet model, after After 80%, the model was able to save at 80 epochs. The model reached 66% accuracy. After that, we evaluate the model on the I plot learning curve. This is promising. And then I evaluated the model with BLEU metric. BLEU compares generated captions to the reference captions. The reference captions are the captions from the dataset using n-gram overlaps. And it tells us how close the generated captions are to human written ones. For example, if the reference or the human written caption is a man is riding a horse on the beach, and the predicted caption is man riding a horse, this is pretty much good because we have 4 tokens that overlap the original caption. That is very good. So I define a predict caption function, and then I define an evaluate function to evaluate with the sentence BLEU metric. And here we do the actual evaluation with passing the model, passing the test set, passing the mapping of captions and image features, tokenizer, and max length, which is 34. And here are the BLEU scores for unigrams, bigrams, trigrams, and 4grams. Unigram score shows the word level overlap, and bigram score shows the phrase level overlap. Trigram score shows the sentence structure, and 4gram score, if we get a high 4gram score, that means that the model had full caption fluency. In this example, with 66% accuracy of training, in the test dataset, we see 42 score or 0.42 BLEU score on unigram and just 5% accuracy on 4grams, but that's pretty good. And then we can visualize some of the captions with this visualization function. You see, this is one image from the test set, and the predicted caption is 2 people are standing around fire at rodeo. So we don't have rodeo or 2, more than 2. But it's pretty good. People are standing around fire. That's good. And 2 boys are driving down the street on motorized bike. The motorized bike and driving and street. This is very good. So I'm just showing you some good results. There were awful results too. The models couldn't predict good captions all the time. For example, here you see the picture shows camels, but the caption says horse. And from this project, I concluded that we need modern deep learning attention mechanisms and transformers, because without transformers and attention mechanism, the model fails to pay attention actually to the image. And with this final note, which indicates the need for further study and continuous learning, I end my internship. Thanks to everyone at CS Internship whose generosity and integrity provided me with this great opportunity. Thank you, everyone.